Once more, I wasn't right. Again, I was wrong. But it's off. The side fairing from the tank. It's off. But it turned out to be separable from this piece of the fairing. Yes, indeed. But following the manual, I first had to take this bolt loose from the instrument cluster. I also took that one loose, but I don't think that was necessary. It didn't move at all. And also this one could have been in place as well, and the clip down here might have been there as well. But I need to go further down, but that's another thing. But it's not necessary to take this piece off, this cover off. Next, I had to press down with my fingers on this piece of the fairing of the instrument cluster, and then push it down and pull it inwards this way to separate the instrument cluster from this piece of the fairing. That released this piece of the fairing to take it loose from that piece. Now, once more I had to push. I have to take this in my hand, push and pull this way. And next I had to do the same here once more. That's also the reason that it was necessary to take this piece here loose in order to get the flexibility to move with this piece. And then the whole thing was just hanging loose on this gripper. You know, to reattach it, I have to hang it onto the gripper like this, and then click, click, click the stuff back in place, and then start turning screws. That's where it's holding, behind this clip, and that's it. That's the secret. Now, I now advanced sufficiently into the bike to be able to lift the tank up, which would give me access to the cylinder head of cylinder number 2, so that I might work on it. But as far as I now know, I'm not sure, I haven't been there yet, but it seems not to be sufficient entrance to check the valve clearances, for which you have to take off, you have to completely remove this cover right there where my finger is at. It's called the rocker cover in American, I believe. Not sure. I don't know if it shows up on camera, but I found my Allen key. It's there in that corner behind this piece of fairing and this piece of fairing, and there is a screw here, and there are 2 more screws higher up. So maybe this little piece is detachable, at least so far that I can take the Allen key out. So that's what I'm going to try first now. Well, the idea with the screw did it. For the Allen key, I've got it out. It's there on the floor. So one problem less, finally. But still, my learning curve has to be steep. It turns out that most of the jobs that I really want to do force me to take the tank off. But not only that, I may now lift the tank up and get the spark plugs out. There's one. There's another one. But to take the last spark plug out, there it is, on number 1 cylinder it is, I have only one way to get there, and that is that I have to loosen up the radiator rotate radiator forwards and upwards, which means that we'll have to take these hoses loose, which means I will lose my coolant. And if I'm in there as deep as I'm describing now, I'm just a fool not to lift off the rocker covers and check the valve clearance as well. And the same, of course, with number 2 cylinder, where I do have access to both spark plugs with the tank just lifted up, but where I still need to remove the tank to lift the rocker cover off. You know, here you see it even more plain. This is rocker cover cylinder number 1, and that is the radiator. There's less than 1 centimeter between those. So basically, if I'm doing any maintenance work, I don't have much of an option but to take more of the fairing off in order to be able to take the tank off. I might get away, but I won't still have no access to this part here, which is so utterly ugly that I want to clean all parts of the fairing. So, and here I want to get rid of the rust, you know. So I now have to decide, now that I have retrieved my Allen key, do I stop right now, or do I go to full Monty, if you know what I mean? Well, I'm not sure yet. Hi guys. Well, I put everything back in running order, and so you understand that I voted against doing the whole thing now straight away. Reason: time. I need to finish a logo design this weekend, and this job would probably have eaten away my whole weekend, the whole of my weekend. So but this was a very useful journey for me. I now know a whole lot more of how this bike is constructed, which will come in handy soon, I believe, because I will have to check my valve timings and all the other stuff, you know. It will have to happen, and it will have to happen quite soon. There is a reason behind this. I know for once and for all that every 24,000 kilometers the valves need to be checked, the valve clearances need to be checked, and I know that my brother has not done that at 24,000. That's what he told me. By now the engine has done 42.5, almost 43, and before the end of the summer, I think 48, the next due time is up. So before the end of the summer I will have to do this, because in September I will be traveling to France to bring away his ashes, the ashes of my brother.